Welcome back, folks. Another episode of It's About Payrolls. We are somewhere in the early 200s. We'll get count. I think this is 208. We'll get count again at some point. What's up, Walt? What's going on, man?
Man, just grateful, trying to live and operate in gratefulness, man. Just thankful for all the listeners, thankful for
The downloads,
everything that I have, the downloads, life, man. Just thankful for it, man. How about you, man?
Same here, bro. Same here, man. Just super excited, having a lot of fun with the cohort with CPT, our Certified Payroll Technician course. First cohort is in week 4 now. We got 2 more weeks, man. It's just amazing, bro. It's so amazing, man. I'm so excited for it. And the students are excited. Folks are excited. Shout out to Nerd Outfitters, our good friend, colleague, Troy Markison out there. Shout out to all the other influence out there, Work Defined Network and Career Learning. I saw everyone had given us the support and it was courageous and bold enough to go on this journey with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. So do you have any payroll in the news?
I got,
all right.
I found another true crime thing. I was like, wait, probably overkill to true crime on top of true crime. So I have a payroll fitness tip for our payrollers out there. And it's build a payroll dashboard or dashboards, depending on what the metrics you need. Sometimes the systems will help you build this and they may have it already. I've seen systems that have the dashboards and nobody's looking at it. Either way, you need clean data. If not, you could get an Excel. You can use AI to help build this as well, because you don't need any PII to build to the data, right? But some of the examples that I have is overtime by location. What it reveals is scheduling inefficiency. Meal penalties by location. It reveals compliance and staffing issues. Retro pay volume. It reveals late HR or manager changes. Manual checks and off cycles. We know how that goes. That reveals a process breakdown. Oh my gosh, that is like giving me that's triggering me right now. Payroll error rate. Another trigger, which reveals training or system issues. And then benefit arrears balances, which could reveal some deduction setup problems. So there's little things there that can help a payroll pro add some value to their organization.
Yeah, man, I love that. That's great stuff, man. So perfect segue into our true payroll crime story today. So you want to give us an intro into it, man?
Absolutely. Oof. Imagine discovering that someone entrusted your company's payroll had allegedly increased. Wait, let me start over. Imagine that you found out that someone that is entrusted with processing your company's payroll had allegedly increased their own salary and issued themselves bonuses as large as $25,000 and used company credit card, hundreds of thousands of dollars racking up, and personal expenses, not business expenses. So now imagine that this continued for more than 2 years. Ding, ding, ding. What's that magic number Walt found for us, right? These things go on for about 18 to 24 months on average. So more than 2 years. Today, a true payroll crime story. We are discussing the case of a Florida payroll manager accused of stealing more than $1.5 million from a Miami doctor's office. But this is not simply a story about one employee who allegedly acted dishonest. It is a classic story about unrestricted system access, missing approvals, poor segregation of duties, weak account verification, and payroll reports that apparently were not independently reviewed. We talk about that stuff over and over and over. It leads back to the same controls, right? So when, not to get too far over it, we don't have to wonder how to fix this. Right is foundational corrections, is fundamental stuff that governs this that is just not in place. So Walt, let me ask you this. When a single person can change their own salary, create their own bonus, approve their own payments, and control the payroll account. What could possibly go wrong?
Apparently, about 1.5 million worth of things can go wrong, bro.
And today we're going to break
What?
down what allegedly happened, identify some failed controls, and test ourselves with several payroll crime prevention scenarios. See how we do from there. But tell us,
I'm gonna get into the story.
tell us what we are covering, sir.
So, according to authorities, I'm not gonna put the lady's name up there, but this employee was a payroll manager or paymaster for Miami back and neck specialist and orthopedic medical practice in Miami. So investigators allege that from approximately September of 2021 through January of 2024, she altered her own payroll information without the doctor's knowledge or authorization. She allegedly increased her biweekly salary by approximately $1,700 and issued herself unauthorized bonuses, some reportedly as large as $25K, like Brian mentioned.
Wow.
Authorities claim that the unauthorized salary increases and bonuses total approximately a little over $1 million. She is also accused of making approximately over $400,000 in unauthorized personal purchases using the company credit card. Together, the allegations exceed 1.5 million. So, look, it was reportedly uncovered after a new payroll manager joined the organization in 2024 and noticed suspicious activity in the former payroll manager's records. The physician who owned the practice then filed a police report in June of 2024. So, Brian, what's the first thing that jumps out to you? The first thing that jumps out to me is that fraud was not discovered by a routine audit, but it was discovered by the new person who came in and started looking at old records.
Same. As soon as you said that it totaled $1 million over the time frame, I'm like, wait a minute. Is there like accountant not even asking? Like, hey, you went up $1 million in expenses this past year. What happened? Even month to month. Like, if you're operating in the millions, you need outside third party or someone. I mean, it doesn't have to be outside. Someone looking at the numbers and comparing your numbers on a constant basis, month over month, check date over check date, what's going on? Hey, this went up. And don't ask the payroll person. Don't have them ask the owner, right? Like the payroll, you can copy them in, but I would, right? So that suggests a normal payroll review process either did not exist, was not independent, or was not detailed enough to detect changes involving the payroll manager herself. I mean, I don't even know. Oh my gosh.
So how do you think this worked? How did she get this to work, man?
So let's dig into that. The most alarming allegation may be how the payroll account was established. Investigators claim that that the person, it's almost like it's all right. It's like almost like a play on words because this person's last name was Poor. Claim that the descendant represented herself as the owner when setting up the company's account with its payroll process. That allegedly gave her full administrative and supervisory access, including the ability to manage employee salaries, create bonuses, approve payments, and control account level permissions. By the way, you don't need that level owner. Like that right there out the gate is a red flag, because if you set it up properly, the owner should have that access as well. And us as payroll professionals can make sure that that owner is granting us that access in addition to, right? Again, payroll pros have to be beyond reproach. Set it up. We do need all that access, especially in a small business like that, but we need oversight. And that's an easy way to make sure that you have oversight. Even if the owner is complaining like, oh, I don't want to get it. Oh, you got it. And I'm like, hey, but you got to be like, hey, this is not our business. It's not my business, right? This is your account. You got to do this. So in other words, she allegedly had access to change payroll data, change her own compensation, create bonus payments, approve payroll activity, manage system permissions, and control who else could see or challenge the activity. Again, access that we could and should have for the most part, but with oversight. This is not simply a payroll problem. It is an access governance failure as well, I'm suggesting. So, Walt, what should a payroll manager do if they ever have full administrative access?
So look, they legitimately may need like significant access like that to perform their job duties, right? It's not necessarily the problem in itself is not necessarily the access. It's the access without, like you said, the independent oversight, right? So the payroll person that should not be able to make a change to their own compensation. That's a system configuration thing. And then be the only person, and also they should never be the only person reviewing and approving that sort of change. Like, look, I've been in systems where I could change my own salary
Of course.
if I wanted to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I've never done that. And there's a lot of different failures across the board, right?
Yep.
I want to know where their accounting team was, like you mentioned.
Yes.
What's their finance person doing? Like, was this payroll person in charge of that stuff too? Like, was it just were they doing payroll and were they also the bookkeeper? You know what I'm saying? So if they were, then of course, if they're working in a silo, they could do all those things, man. So it's definitely control failures all the way around, man. So and that goes into no segregation of duties.
Yep.
So you have one person like allegedly who could have the ability to play God in the system and nobody to check that. That's a problem, right?
Yep.
So at a minimum, you need compensation authorization, a workflow. You need to monitor the payroll data entry, payroll approvals, funding authorization, bank reconciliation, system security administration. Those are all different things that should be in question,
Yes.
especially like you said earlier, if you're a high revenue on the millions, hundreds of thousands in revenue, you need to have those things secure. Like what do you always say? Trust but verify,
Sure.
right? This person probably had a impeccable payroll processing record. They probably had never, well, who knows now if this person had ever done this in other stops, right? So it's just like now whoever hired that person before is gonna go probably look back
Yep.
and say, like, if they get wind of this and say, oh, let me go check our books
For
too,
real.
because this person had the same access. Because imagine this person was only there, this person had already left when the new payroll manager came in. This person was already gone. So this person was trying to hightail it out of town and maybe moving on to the next gig.
Yep.
So like, yeah,
They didn't move
employees
quick
could
enough.
apparently, yeah. So payroll professionals should be generally, in my opinion, be prevented from making unreviewed changes to their own salary, hourly
Yes.
rate, bonuses. Maybe direct deposit, not so much. Like, look, you have to have an audit in place for a direct deposit, right?
Right.
You should be able to change
Your
tax
own.
ledger,
Right.
service and stuff like that. Expense reimbursements, that needs to be checked, right? You shouldn't be able to enter your own expense reimbursement into the system and pay yourself. Oh, you know what? I took my family out to eat on the weekend. I'm gonna say that it was a work thing so I can give myself a reimbursement and pay myself back. You shouldn't be able to do that, right? You shouldn't be able to also change your employment status. So a system has to have the capability to limit these things, or you need to have a policy or workflow that should require another authorized person to initiate those or approve them. Yeah. Same thing with the bonuses, right? Those things fall into place, right? And look, this also means, like, who was reviewing the payroll registers, bro?
Yeah.
Was anybody reviewing
Body.
those things? You know
Or
what I'm
if
saying?
it
Like,
was,
so,
it was
like,
way late.
yeah. Yeah, man. So, bro, let's get into some multiple choice questions here. This is the new segment I
Okay.
wanted to try out. So
Could you
segment
stop the
5. So,
payroll crime? That's so,
yeah.
yes,
The
that's
crime.
interesting. Okay. So let's see. We will put out a scenario, right? And then reveal the control that gives the organization the best chance for preventing that fraud. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll do one. Well, how many we got? I'll do half.
5.
We got 5, or I'll do the
Yeah.
first 2 or 3.
We got 6. So
Oh, we got
yeah, okay.
half and half. I'll do first 3. Okay, here we
Yeah.
go. So let's see. A payroll administrator's raise. Your payroll administrator received a salary increase. The administrator normally enters all salary changes into the payroll system. What is the safest process? A, let the administrator enter the increase because payroll already has access. B, let the administrator enter it because, but ask them to email HR afterward. Could be. C, require another authorized employee to enter or approve the administrator's compensation change using written support. Or D, wait until year end to confirm the amount on the employee's W-2. It's D. So what do you think?
Bro, it's gonna be for me, like B was okay, but the safest process was C.
Practice is C. That's right. Require another authorized employee to enter or approve the administrator's compensation change using written support. Explanation: no employee should have sole control over changes affecting their own compensation. There is even some systems will limit it'll give an administrator full access except to their own info. So that's a good feature if you can implement it. The increase should be supported by formal authorization, entered or independently approved by someone else, and included in a compensation change order report. Yes, sir. All right. Number 2, the unexpected $20,000 bonus. I like that. During payroll review, a CFO notices a $20,000 bonus for the payroll manager. The payroll manager says the owner verbally approved it. Okay.
Yeah, Brian said I could have it.
Right, Brian's like, right. Walt said I can have 50K, Brian. What do you think? And I'm like, what? I mean, anywho, what should happen? A, process it because payroll deadlines are tight. B, process it and obtain the documentation later. No, thank you. C, remove or hold the payment until written authorization is independently confirmed. D, divide the bonus over 2 payrolls so it attracts less attention. Yeah, sure. What do you think? Well,
bro, like, so there's only one optimal answer in this, because the rest of those are like suspect.
Yes,
all the way around.
Yes,
it's C, man.
If you're
right,
remove or hold the payment until written authorization is independently confirmed. If your CFO agrees to anything else, he is also in cahoots with this scheme. Well, explanation is that the material bonus payments should not be processed based solely on verbal authorization from the person receiving the payment. Written approval should come directly from an authorized leader and be retained with the payroll documentation. Absolutely. It shouldn't be verbal on anybody's account. Yeah.
And like you were saying, like the CFO may be in on it in that case, or it may be somewhere new, right? Someone new that's coming in, doesn't know.
Oh, that's a good one. Yes. This is the way. Don't worry.
Yeah. And they're kind of taking advantage of it. So like good CFOs, even if they're new, they would probably challenge that, but you never know.
Fair. All right, last one, and then Walt, take it over. Full administrator access. A small business has only one payroll employee. That employee needs broad access to process payroll. What is the best compensating control? Give the employee unrestricted access because the company is too small to separate responsibilities, which could be true, but there's better ways. B, have the owner independently review the payroll register, change reports, and bank withdrawals every pay period. C, change the payroll password every 6 months. D, ask employees to report any concerns about their checks. What do you think, Walt?
B.
Yeah. Have the owner independently review payroll register reports every pay period. Yes.
Yeah. And look, to your point, as a small business owner, you're going to want to have control over those things anyway. Right?
Yes.
Because it's going to be vital for the longevity of your business.
Yeah. Yeah. I get, look, as founders, we know it gets busy. Yeah. You're juggling multiple things. You got long days, long jobs, and you don't want to do everything, right? And they'll teach you that if you learn about small business owner, entrepreneur, like You can't do everything. But this is one of the things that you have to maintain. Oh my gosh, you know who I just thought of? Tabitha, when she came on and she told her assistant, "I love you, but I don't trust you." Or whoever the person was helping her with her finances, she was like, "I love you, but I don't trust you." And
Yep.
and
Yeah.
she,
Yep.
right, Tabitha Brown, she maintained that she stays with governance over her finances. You could delegate a lot of things, but understanding your you remember you're thinking about it
Yeah.
now, right?
Yeah. Because she said she could feel money leaving her
Yeah.
account. Like it wakes her out of her sleep. Like money just left my account. Like, bro, I want to be connected to money like that. Like, what? Yes.
Oh God, God bless her.
Yeah, man.
Yes, that was a good show. Peep that show with Tabitha. She had us all laughing, but it was all true.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And small organizations, you may not have enough staff to complete the segregation of duties, but in that situation, the owner, a CFO, an accountant, or an outside advisor should perform an independent and documented review of the finances. And even if the owner doesn't do it, like even if you take that route, okay, I'm going to hire somebody else to do it, you still have to be diligent about the review of it, right? Because if you don't read the review, like it's still no point in it. Tabitha, she said once a month or however frequency she said, she literally ticks and ties all the transactions out of her account with whoever else that she's working, you know what I mean? And her and her husband were very diligent about tracking finances out the gate, all their whole relationship. So stick to that. Like, yes, you got to delegate things, but if you're in the business to make money, then track it and pay attention to it.
Yes, sir.
Well, while you read this,
right.
I'm just gonna refill my coffee. Go ahead. I'm here. I'm listening.
Go ahead.
I'm
All
listening.
right. So, look, Brian, you're a business owner, right? So your payroll manager set up a organization for a new vendor service and they listed themselves as the account owner. What should you as the owner do? A, nothing because the payroll manager will use the account most frequently. B, list an actual owner or authorized officer as the primary account owner and assign payroll staff role-based access. C, allow the payroll manager to remain the owner but share the password with the CEO. Or D, use one shared administrator account for everyone. What'd you think?
B is the answer.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Because look, the primary ownership relationship should be connected to a verified company owner or officer, right?
Yes.
One of the terms that I recently learned, responsible party, right?
Oh yeah.
So
Yep.
you just had a change in CEO and stuff like that, and you have to fill out tax form or form 8822
Oh
B
yeah.
for the IRS
Yep.
to change the responsible party.
Dropping
So
gems on them. Nice. Yeah.
responsible party, he needs to be the owner or authorized officer, right? Payroll employees should receive individual accounts with permissions appropriate to their responsibilities, and password sharing should be prohibited.
Absolutely.
All right, next question. All right, bro, one of your payroll employees' pay just recently shot up, right? So you did a comparison report and shows that one of your payroll team employees' gross pay increased by 60% from the previous pay period. What's your best response? A, assume it's correct because payroll processed it and you have to trust your payroll team, right? B, review the employee's pay rate history, bonus details, approval documents, and audit logs before releasing payroll. Ask the employee whether the payment is correct. C. And then D, process the payroll and review the difference next quarter.
Say B. Review the employee's pay rate, bonus, approval, audit log before releasing payroll. Come on.
Absolutely, because the review has to rely on independent evidence, not simple an explanation from your payroll person on why they're receiving the money, right? You should review source documents, check that the system history change logs, who the approver is, and during the payroll calculation review before you finalize payroll. So last question, brother. A payroll manager has not taken a full week of vacation in 3 years and insists that no one else can process payroll.
Red flag.
What's the most appropriate response?
Sorry.
A, you reward that employee's dedication. B, you require cross-training and periodic time away while another qualified person performs and reviews the process. C, you allow the employee to work remotely during vacation. It's
Oh
not
my
really
God.
vacation.
Yeah, for real.
D, you give the employee another administrator account as backup. What do you do, bro?
I'm gonna go with B there. Require cross training, periodic time away,
Yeah.
while their backup can review and do the payroll. Like,
Why? But yeah, exactly. But
yeah.
yeah, because schemes often require that one person being in a silo who is committing payroll by themselves, and they want to continuously be involved, so those irregularities are not discovered, right? So you want to have you want to say like keep everybody out and safeguard yourself from getting caught, right?
Few
So that's why, man.
things, yes, a few things come to mind there. One, one of my first payroll boss taught me if you're the only one that knows the job, that's not a good thing, right? That's not job security, right? Because leadership, the company needs to understand what for every role is doing in any role. Okay, that's one thing. Two, I've had this happen because we've both been involved in companies that do mergers and acquisitions, right? And
Yeah.
now as independent consultants and fractional payroll professionals providing managed payroll services, I've heard both new managers that have come on and clients, former clients, current clients. You find out a lot in that discovery conversation about payroll review, right?
Sir.
They know they're doing something wrong. And when you have that conversation, because payroll is so intimate, you will find that these folks have a hard time having the conversation. If they have a hard time doing payroll review, that's a problem, right? There's no good sign there. If it's ignorance, hopefully they feel safe enough to just say, I've never known how to do this. I'm sorry if it's wrong, blah, blah, blah. And then, hey, it's a legitimate, don't worry. If you never knew what you never knew, no worries. You just took over. Hey, that happens, especially when you acquire small businesses that mom and pop legacy or single owner for a long time. And when they're small in numbers, they are very rarely payroll compliant. Okay. And the same is true and the same thing is true as an independent business owner now. And as I do consulting and would do services, is like have that interview with the clients and, if they're avoidant and they, oh, well, no, we'll get to it. Don't worry. You'll figure it out. I don't, blah, blah. And they don't want to tell you what they did. And it's like, well, why are you hiding the process here? What, oh, no. You just do what I probably did wrong. You should just do it how you want to do it. And it's like, well, it's not how I want to do it. I need to understand how it gets done. So I understand some of the nuances that I don't want to miss. Right? If you miss a nuance, then somebody doesn't get paid properly. But then again, if they're avoidant like that, if they start getting defensive, then they know good and well that they're doing something wrong and they don't want to be discovered. So that's what that made me think of right there, man. All right.
Yeah, bro.
What else as we wrap it up? Good episode. So good story too, man. Holy cow.
Yeah, bro. So what lessons can be learned from this in your opinion, bro?
Let's see. It's both. It's for employers and payroll service providers, right? So for the employers and as the payroll pros, that can be kind of synonymous, right? And also for a payroll service provider, if you're a payroll person that wants to do your own service, is not a control. It reminds me of an HR leader that said, hope is not a strategy. Okay. A long-term employee may be trusted, but still require oversight. Okay. Controls protect the organization, but they also protect honest payroll professionals from false accusations. Oh my gosh, that is so true, right? Because you don't want to, as a payroll pro, we don't have to rely on, oh, my word is my bond and trust me and trust me. And no, I don't have to do that, because let's just look at the black and white. Let's look at the videotape. Let's look at the records. Let's look at the order controls. That is how I want to trust you, right? Because it shouldn't be about trust in a business that can be so well documented, right? I get in some businesses, yeah, maybe it is trust. Maybe you got to trust your lawyer because you can't, right? Because you can't really, I don't know how he's going to defend me in this case. And oh my God, you got to build that trust on the track record that he establishes for you. For a payroll person, no. One thing, like you can easily just point to the error and point to the root cause. Shout out to, what was it, Tim O'Shea? He's the first one that challenged me to ask 5 whys. I remember when he did it, I was like, what, isn't that overkill? And as I went through the process with them, and I get it, because I can ask you why, you give me an answer. But if I ask you why again, it's going to force you to keep digging, right? Oh, but why do you do that? And why do you do that? And why do you do that? So you got to make sure that you get to the point where you're starting to repeat yourself in the answer, because then you've gotten to the root cause. But if you give me a different why every time I ask why, then we got to keep digging, right? So the owner must remain involved. That is a huge one. Even when payroll's outsourced, the employer retains responsibility for reviewing payroll activity and maintaining proper authority over the account. Small businesses are not exempt from internal controls. So I'm going to say it again. Small businesses are not exempt from internal controls. A smaller organization may use compensating controls, including owner review, outside accounting, a bank alert, dual authorizations, payroll variance reports, and periodic external audits. Payroll staff compensation deserves heightened review. Okay. And changes involving employees with payroll system access should automatically route to the independent approver.
So what about the lessons for the payroll providers?
The lessons for the payroll provider is you should consider safeguards such as verify the true owner or authorized officer, right? And payroll providers, even as consultants, right? If we're setting things up for our clients, if you're getting contracts signed, are you an officer of the business that is signing the contract? Okay, great. Boom. So that's verify the true owner or officer of the business. Requiring additional authentication for ownership changes. Sending alerts when administrative permissions change. Alerting owners about unusual large compensation changes. Require dual approval for high dollar bonuses. And maintain detailed and accessible audit logs, meaning you should be delivering those logs to those owners. So look, before I pass it to you, sir, technology cannot eliminate dishonesty, but properly configured technology can make dishonest behavior harder to conceal. I love that.
Did that, yeah.
Yep.
Yes, sir. All right. So final verdict and for everything. Look, so the criminal allegations in this case have yet to be proven at trial. The defendant has pled not guilty and has requested a jury trial. So, but regardless of the final legal outcome, the reported facts offer a powerful payroll control lesson, right? One individual allegedly had the ability to alter compensation, create those bonuses, approve payroll activity, control account permissions. So that suspicious activity appears to have remained undiscovered until a new payroll manager reviewed the records. The takeaway is not that employers should distrust payroll professionals. The takeaway is that no honest payroll professional should be placed in a system where their work is never independently reviewed.
Amen.
So here's a quote about honesty in payroll. So payroll runs on numbers, but it survives on honesty. Every payment must be supported, every change must be visible, and no person should be beyond
That's
review.
right. Nope. Yep. Look, good controls, they don't come from accuse people of being dishonest. Good controls make honesty measurable, reviewable, and defensible.
Yep. And because you, like you said, you can't have that one person that can do everything.
Nope.
Enter it, approve it, fund it, and hide it.
That is not payroll control.
Oh, yeah. Look, man. And so, look, we're going to invite you to continue to listen out for our future true payroll crime stories that we produce. And look, I thought that we were going to run out of material for these things, but it looks like people are getting tempted all the time in payroll. So, man.
Oh my gosh. I was thinking that while we were running through this, like, remember once upon a time we thought, oh, we're going to run out. We're only going to be able to do a couple of stories. Well, I was like, oh, we're going to run out of stuff. 200 episodes later, plus we're actually probably almost in the 300s with both of the shows. Not all of those are true crime, of course, but you figure like every few episodes is a true crime for over 4 years or 3 or 4 years now, like, and it doesn't stop. I almost thought, oh, should we throw a little true crime in every episode to start like tease it or whatever? But because it's so much, it's like, oh my goodness. Yep.
And bro, thank God, knock on wood, but like, thank God that nobody we know has been caught up in none of these things.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Oh my gosh. No. Oh gosh. Yeah. No, I don't want to be, yeah. But hey, look, that's a testament to our network and everybody we know. And that's what's up. But look, until the next time, subscribe, like, share, tell a friend to tell a friend, and keep coming back, keep listening, and tell us what you want to hear, yo. If we can, I think we keep it pretty diverse, but if there's anything we're missing and we haven't done, or folks you want to see on the show that haven't been on yet, let us know, or back on the show. If you want to see Walt dancing the salsa and cha-cha, let us know. We'll post that. Oh, man, let us know. Yeah, but until next time, we love you, folks. Peace.